across the nation. The states of Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Bihar, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Kerala were considered LWE affected. The state of Odisha, however, posed multifaceted challenges: sparse infrastructure, tribal communities, difficult topography, and a seasoned rival that was adept at operating from 3 border-sharing states: Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and Andhra Pradesh. Naxal insurgency started in Odisha in late 1960s, and by the beginning of 2000s, the Red Rebels were well entrenched and calling the shots.
Before 2010 April, when BSF was not deployed, the situation in Malkangiri and the Koraput district was worst.
धीरे धीरे आमर लोक मान को जे माने चालाक चतुर रहउछन से मान को माने निर्मम भाव रे हत्या करबा आरंभ कले सेटू बहुत लोकन को भी आमर लोक मान मार देले
जार दुईटा पुओ झियो अछंती बडे गोटे गोटे हमकु दियो ही दियो नहेले तुमको प्रजा कोर्ट रे दंड दिया जीवो बोली रे धमक चमक देले मु पिला छुआ को घर परिवार को धरी करी सीधा गुमा पड़े.
The situation was such that things was not in the control of the administration. Things were controlled by the Naxals.
काम भी केतेटा एंडेड करी छी सर सेंती लोकन को मारवाटा कौन करवाटा सेंती काम भी केते एंडेड करी छी ओदा ओदा मारी मारी के छाड़ी दी छी.
The unprecedented attacks on Kalimela and Motu police stations in 2001 and armories of Koraput and Nayagarh districts in 2004 and 2008 respectively were a wake-up call for the administration. The bloodiest day in history of LWE violence in Odisha would be 29th June 2008 when the Maoist forces ambushed a boat on the Kalimela reservoir in Malkangiri. The boat sunk, killing 38 people while 27 survived. Terrorized by the LWE elements, the local tribal communities refrained from cooperating with the forces, pitting them into darkness of zero intel, zero visibility. Thousands of people, including civilians and forces, had succumbed to this rage of extremism by the time BSF was deployed to Odisha. An uphill battle lay in front of them. Acknowledging the urgency of the situation, on October 16, 2009, to the Government of India inducting BSF into LWE affected regions as a part of Operation Green Hunt to combat the Maoists. Frontier Headquarters BSF Special Operations began its deployment into Koraput and Malkangiri districts in 2010.
We had 4 battalions of CRPF. Then after that, Government of India decided to induct BSF. So in 2010, 5 battalions of BSF, they were inducted.
And later on, the Frontier Headquarters Special Ops was established in Bhubaneswar, Odisha on 29 January 2013.
The first DIG, Shri S.K. Barua, he came to this location in January 2010 and he had a recce of the whole area where the BSF was to be deployed.
there were no proper roads and tracks, and the entire road and tracks were very prone to IDs. There were so many ID incidents prior to that.
Our troops, they had to come virtually walking from Koraput. And initially we had taken over 3 locations, that is MB3, MB79 and then Balimela. And from there we further got deployed into the COPs in the interior areas.
Gradually BSF started building up camps, present Dike 3 camp and many more camps up to Janbai. After establishment of camp, gradually we started dominating the area
We are guarding this Balimela reservoir also. Our 4 companies are along the Balimela reservoir. We are carrying out the patrolling along the riverine area also.
नाइट पेट्रोलिंग हम है जो कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन जो हमारे इंट ब्रांच जो देती रहती है उसके बेस पे हम है जो नाइट पेट्रोलिंग या फिर बाद में एम्बुश और किसी तरीके के पैरामीटर पेट्रोलिंग वगैरह इस तरीके करते हैं। जो भी हम अपने एक तो कैंप की सुरक्षा और आसपास में जो जनता रहती है, गांव रहते हैं, उनमें हमारा डोमिनेशन रहता है, इसलिए हम नाइट पेट्रोलिंग और नाइट एम्बुश वगैरह लगाते हैं। और यहाँ आसपास कोई नक्सल की मूवमेंट होती है उसको कम से कम मूवमेंट हो और उनमें डर रहे, इसके लिए हम हमारी नाइट पेट्रोलिंग रखते हैं।
Apart from our basic fundamental training, after recruitment, we have regular training of tactics, weapons, drill, and whenever we get time from operations, we train our men on different fields so that every training is refreshed. Our boys are also trained for mental toughness, yoga, meditation, so they are able to handle the stressful situations. The training is almost done daily.
यहाँ हमारे पास में लिमिटेड रिसोर्स और जगह की कमी होती है। इसी लिमिटेड रिसोर्स को प्रयोग करते हुए कम से कम समय में अधिक से अधिक जवानों को ट्रेन करने के लिए हम लोगों ने सर्किट ट्रेनिंग का इजाद किया है। इस सर्किट ट्रेनिंग में मिनिमम 5 मिनट में ही 40 बंदों को एक साथ एक्सरसाइज कराया जा सकता है।
Lethal on battleground, playful in practice. Officers and jawans of BSF compete for sporting honors in display of sportsmanship, fitness and team spirit. On February 10, 2012, a BSF squad of 107 Battalion travelling in jeep was targeted at Balimela Culvert at around 1 p.m. in the Janbai area of the district.
It is a very unfortunate incident in the history of BSF. Late Shri Jeevan Ram Khaswan, he was commanding 107 Battalion. He and his battalion were selected to first come here and tackle the Naxals activity here.
Commandant of the 107 Battalion, Jeevan Ram Khaswan, his second in command, Rajesh Sharan, Inspector Ashok Yadav, and Assistant Sub-Inspector or Radio Operator of the squad, Jitendra, attend martyrdom in IED attack, followed by gunfire.
Late Shri Jeevan Ram Khaswan, he was a very brave and courageous officer. He himself went to all the COBs, himself stayed there in jungles and established these COBs. So he fought valiantly and laid down his life for this Naxal cause and as well as for the nation.
It was a massive blow to the morale of the BSF troop in the region. But not one of them wavered from the path they had been put on. Fight extremism, usher in progress, free the people. Since then, BSF took on numerous combing operations, seizing massive caches of arms and ammunitions, neutralizing LWE elements, setting up company operating bases around habitations to deter the extremists. There was no looking back from there. Their greatest success story lay ahead.
Well, this cut-off area, erstwhile cut-off area, which has now been known as Swabiman Anchal, it came into existence when in late 70s, when this Balimela reservoir was constructed, and due to which a lot of landmass it got cut off from the Odisha's mainland, and that area was known as a cut-off area. And due to that, there was around 9 gram panchayat and 151 villages. They were not in contact with the mainland of the Odisha.
and it was very difficult to conduct operation from Odisha side. The people were alienated also because they didn't have any access to the Odisha side.
Across the Chitrakonda reservoir, the extremists still ruled the roost, damaging public-funded infrastructure, collecting levy and exploiting the locals. The cut-off area, now Swabiman Anchal, having a population of 31,000 people, became a Maoist citadel after the Naxal movement started in Andhra Pradesh in 1967, in the densely forested Andhra-Odisha border region. As an earth-cum-rock dam was built at Chitrakonda area of Malkangiri between 1962 and 1977 to generate 510 megawatt of hydroelectricity, the reservoir and its backwaters created a 65-kilometer long water channel, submerging hills, forests and hundreds of villages. More than 170 villages that did not drown were physically separated and came to be known as cut-off area. People lived in acute poverty, cut off from the mainland and away from the benefits of the state's programs. Many of them were forced by Naxals to cultivate cannabis instead of food crops. The crop further funded the LWE activities in the district.
Since Andhra Pradesh was having Naxal problem and this area was having close proximity with Andhra Pradesh, the Naxalism started to affect this area also. And there were a lot of Naxal activities. It started in Swabiman Anchal. And also due to the cutoff, there was no communication from the mainland. Government officials and people, they were not able to visit that area, and Naxal was having a safe haven in this area.
Back in 2011, the then district collector R. Vinil Krishna was abducted and held hostage in Zodambo Gram Panchayat in the cut-off region of Malkangiri on the opposite side of the reservoir.
At this moment, we are trying to cross the Balimela reservoir to get to the other side of this reservoir to the place called the cut-off area in Odisha's Malkangiri district.
Well, the area where the collector was kidnapped from is virtually inaccessible, surrounded by inhospitable terrain. It's virtually cut off from the rest of the world, and it's the heart of Odisha's Maoist land after over a 12-hour trek.
The incident sent shockwaves across the nation and was a setback for the state's efforts in curbing the extremism. It dominated the news and brought to fore the growing influence of these radical, extreme and violent movements in this cut-off region.
जनता पाइठारे माओवादी कबल में पड़ते मालकानगिरी तत्कालीन जिलापाल आर विनिल कृष्णा
घटना घटी बुधवार संध्या 6
The bridge over the Balimela reservoir to connect the cut-off area with the Malkangiri district was sanctioned in 1970, but the Naxals, they were not allowed any construction agency to construct that particular bridge.
In 1986, the government floated tenders for the bridge 11 times, but Maoists managed to scare the contractors away.
After deployment of the two COB, the construction agency, they gain a confidence that now the Naxal are not going to disturb their construction work. And after a gap of 5 years, the Gurupriya bridge was properly constructed.
In 2018, Odisha's Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik inaugurated the completed Gurupriya Setu and connected Swabiman Anchal to the mainland. While construction of the 910-meter long bridge was a major achievement in reclaiming the Maoist bastion, the real challenge before the state government was how to make roads to the last village at the end of Swabiman Anchal. In September 2020, mobile telecom services in 4 villages also started. The biggest obstacle was building a road through the hillocks in Hantalguda area, another Maoist fortress. The Maoists engineered a protest of over 2,000 villagers and gheraued the men constructing the road. As the standoff continued, one night, BSF men established and a temporary camp with lightning speed started domination exercise, instilling a sense of security among the road contractors. The relative safety has ensured that the state government could build around 200-kilometer road of a target 391.32 km in Swabiman, Anchal in around 3 years. The biggest turning point in the government's effort to reclaim the Red Bastion happened during this period, when people of Tikarpada, Janturai and Jodambo villages took on the Maoists, who wanted that the road construction be stopped. The rebels sent 2 of their cadres asking villagers to stop the road construction when they came face to face with hundreds of angry women.
सांगे सांगे आम लोग काल विलम्ब न करी दोनों थीर धरिक चारिआडे घेरी पकड़े घेरी देले घेरला परे से माने से जो मेलसिया मान को धरला परे मेलसिया मान जाई पारले नहीं.
One Maoist was killed while another received serious injuries. A few hours later, over 200 Maoists came and attacked the villagers, but the villagers rained down arrows on them.
जब बीएसएफ कैंप ट्रूप्स में जाके पहुंचे तो देखे कि गांव पूरा जला हुआ था. 24 से 25 घर पूरा जला दिए थे. कुछ लोगों के अनाज और कुछ बाइक्स भी जलाया गया था. गांव में एक दुखद भरी दृश्य को देखने को मिली. तब वहां पर बीएसएफ पहुंचे. कुछ दिनों के बाद कैंप एस्टैब्लिश हुआ. गांव वालों के अंदर में एक खुशी का माहौल शुरू हो गया.
If you go and see the area now, all villages have been connected with the Pakka roads. There have been electrification. All villages are electrified, and new markets, hearts are coming up. Schools have developed like anything. People are going and they are keeping their children in the hostels, and there are a lot of development activity as such. It's going on.
Since then, BSF has crafted many more success stories. State government, through socio-economic transformation and upliftment, Setu scheme for the villages of Swabiman Anchal provided electricity, drinking water and schools. A mega water supply scheme is on anvil, through which water from Balimela Reservoir would be drawn, filtered and supplied to homes through pipes.
Timely support from the state government as well as from the central government has also brought the confidence in the security forces to carry out their operations.
In January 2020, BSF along with OP, CRPF, Cobra personnel and also Andhra Police launched an ambitious operation, Operation Swabiman, in the area. More than 1,000 security force were deployed and an attempt was made to provide security at every nook and corner. This week-long operation was primarily to focus on giving a sense of security to the local population. During this operation, however, many development works like construction of roads, ghat cutting between Jantapai and Jodambo via the hills of Hantalgoda, digging of borewells, etc. were taken up. The construction of Motu Sileru Bridge has opened the new avenues of connectivity with Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. BSF and police had made efforts for return of Maoist sympathizers and supporters in mainstream. In the Ghar Vapsi program, more than 1,000 Maoist sympathizers took oath against Maoism.
People are getting employment and they are taking active part in construction work, developmental work. So they are not going towards Naxal, they are coming gradually in the mainstream now.
The Tribal Youth Exchange Program is a government-sponsored program to give an opportunity to tribal youth to gain experience, knowledge and skill by visiting other parts of India. It started in the year 2014-15 until 2022-23. Total 1,288 tribal youth have travelled to different parts of the country. BSF is playing a pivotal role in the program by selecting youth from far-hung areas.
BSF सहयोगरे आमे जामु बुलिया को जाइतिलु.
लोक माने केंती व्यवहार करे सेटा मु सिखिली. काको केंती कथा हेबे, तापरे खाइबा पीबा केंती कोन सबु हमको आमे सेटू सिखेलो.
BSF transformed Naxal operating bases, also known as Lal Makan, into educational hubs for tribal students. Those are now used to impart computer literacy to tribal students and improve moral of the villagers.
एटारे आगरे माओवादी माने सेंटर रखतिले आ एटी तांके विचार प्रचार करिया पय एटी सभा बसतिले. बीएसएफ माने आसिले. बीएसएफ आसिया द्वारा बहुत सुयोग मिलला हमकु. माने तांको द्वारा हमको रक्षा करथिले माने कंप्यूटर द्वारा कोन कोन होछि आजिकाली ए सब विषय कहउचंती आ हमें बहुत सिखि के बहुत खुशी लागुची।
BSF regularly organized medical camps in remote areas wherein ailing villagers were provided healthcare facilities and medicines.
आमर बेसी मुंड बता गोड़ बता आखि बता पेट बता हेले सबदा सर्वदा पाई आज्ञा माने आसीचंती जुदिने आसले से दिन ठारू आमे आसुचु हमकु दउचंती औषध नै कि खाउचु।
The basic aim of organizing such medical camps is to bring Medicare to the doorsteps of deprived population of the remote pockets who have no access to basic healthcare services.
So many civilians used to come to our companies to get medical support because there is not much of medical supplies and overall infrastructure in these villages. So we used to do our best for every 2 to 3 months once we conduct medical camps in all our COBs and try to get them involved in all these things.
On 26 January 2022, on the occasion of Republic Day, BSF had launched boat ambulance service in Swabiman, Anchal in Malkangiri District. The boat ambulance service covers the whole Swabiman Anchal area for shifting of patients to nearby hospital and to provide better healthcare facilities in absence of proper road network. Civic Action Program or CAP is one major outreach initiative being conducted every year by BSF deployed in the Maoist affected districts. This program conducted in remote villages of Malkangiri and Koraput districts to reform the lives of the people and to create a sense of security among the local population. During the month of February 2022, BSF succeeded in conducting peaceful panchayat elections in the vulnerable Naxal affected areas. The election concluded peacefully and incident-free amid heavy security cover of BSF. Many of the villagers cast their votes for the first time.
Even despite they got the threat from the Naxals, they should not participate in the panchayat election. But the local public, they did not follow the guidelines or the instruction of the Naxals, and they have participated in a big way.
COB Jantari, which is one of the remotest of the remote area of Odisha, and because of the BSF, the election could be conducted in a very smooth, which was a very good sign that area is changing and there's a lot of transformation has come up.
On the bridge of progress, rolled on the wheels of prosperity, Government of Odisha's Lakshmi is a boost to Malkangiri's connectivity.
जे हमको बीएसएफ वाला नहीं कि 50 वर्ष पर्यंत हमर जंत्री कैंप करे रहबा पानी निहाती दरकार
बीएसएफ वाला आइसले जो दिन कैंप होला से दिन टू हमर पिला छुआ बुढ़ा बुढ़ी पिला भेंडी धरि किना हमर टिके सुविधा
तांको डर रे जाय पळैथिनी बीएसएफ आसरारू मु भी पेरी आसेदी.
The development of Swabiman Anchal has occurred not just because of one person. BSF has sacrificed many lives in this area. We have lost our officers and men in this area, and it is because of the sacrifice and the balidan of our men the transformation of this area has taken place.
While numerous forces and personnel were engaged in securing Guru Priya, BSF had a distinct role to play.
We are a force who are aggressive in their approach. We are firm, but at the same time we are polite in our approach.
They brought in a more tactical approach to combing. Their experience of fighting in difficult terrains and most importantly, the single-minded goal of building and breeding peace.
Contribution of the BSF has been particularly noteworthy in areas like Swabiman Anchal, which have become an example of how to push back the LWE menace and restore peace, normalcy and harmony in the area.
Learning from their peers in other forces, they built better ideologies for locals, cultivated trust and loyalty, and made progress in the focal point instead of neutralization.
हाँ, जब हम ड्यूटी के लिए ऑपरेशन में बाहर निकलते थे, घर वालों को तो डर तो होता था, लेकिन उनको ये पता है कि ड्यूटी फर्स्ट, नेशन फर्स्ट है हमारा और देश को सुरक्षा करना हमारा कर्तव्य है.
The endless cycle of violence is nearing its end in Malkangiri. because the locals now see progress and safety. A life of freedom, a life of dignity, ensured by the non-intrusive operations of the BSF. Shaheed Jeevan Ram Khaswan and his men would swell with pride from wherever they are when they look down upon their companies in Malkangiri.